From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Prime Minister Mark Carney is off to the United Kingdom today as Ottawa continues its efforts to deepen Canada's international ties, especially with Europe.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is in London today. He'll be there through Sunday for meetings with world leaders as well as business executives. He is set to meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, along with the leaders of Iceland, Australia, Spain, and Denmark. Carney will also hold talks with investors and business leaders as part of Ottawa's push to expand trade ties abroad, driven by U.S. President Donald Trump and his ongoing trade war. Rob Westgate, The Canadian Press.
The end of the consumer carbon price and the removal of counter tariffs has Desjardins reining in its expectations for inflation next year. Desjardins economist Randall Bartlett says his outlook for inflation is a full percentage point lower for next year with the end of those two measures.
While we talk about government spending as a booster of inflation, these tax cuts have materially reduced the inflation outlook in Canada, have provided room for the Bank of Canada to lower interest rates.
StatsCan says inflation stood at 1.9% in August. An inmate accused of killing notorious serial killer Robert Pickton in a prison attack last year is expected to plead guilty today in a court appearance northeast of Quebec City. Martin Charest was charged with first-degree murder in July, about 14 months after Pickton died following an assault at Quebec's Port Cartier Penitentiary. An investigation summary said the former BC pig farmer was assaulted by a fellow inmate as medication was being handed out. His assailant broke a broomstick and thrust the broken end into the serial killer's face. Pickton died in hospital 12 days later. Researchers at one of Canada's premier vaccine centres say funding cuts from the U.S. are poised to upend the work that is done globally to fight diseases. Angela Rasmussen is a virologist at the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization in Saskatoon. She says a decision made by America's Trump administration to reduce by billions research grant funding has ramifications in Canada and the world.
We've never seen an assault on vaccine research.
Rasmussen says the cuts are driven by disinformation about vaccines. The Alberta Teachers Association says voting will begin this weekend on a tentative deal reached with the province yesterday, affecting 51,000 teachers. And there was a lot of action yesterday at the southeastern BC ostrich farm, where nearly 400 birds were set to be culled. As RCMP investigated a pre-dawn fire within a newly erected wall of hay bales, the farm near Edgewood received a last-minute reprieve of that cull order. A stay was issued by the Supreme Court of Canada while the next court rulings are being made. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays will try to avoid a sweep against the Boston Red Sox tonight after losing their lone grip on first place in the American League East. The Blue Jays are tied now with the New York Yankees atop the division after the Jays' ugly 7-1 loss to Boston. Toronto has clinched a playoff spot but has lost 6 of its last 7 games. There's 4 games left in the season. Toronto starter Max Scherzer says the Blue Jays have to stay confident in this home stretch.
Baseball's a funny game. There's times where you can be on top of the world, and then there's times where you can be on the bottom of it. But baseball can flip in a heartbeat.
The uncertain playoff seeding won't stop the Blue Jays from putting playoff tickets on sale today. Fans can purchase a seat in the Rogers Centre stands on the team's website. And in soccer, Vancouver forward Brian White scored late to secure a 1-1 draw with the Portland Timbers, keeping the Whitecaps without a loss in their last 7 MLS games. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.